Okay. So today topic is kind of divided into two. First, we'll look into quantum coherence, and then we'll talk about time-space, space-time concept. So let's look into quantum coherence. What is quantum coherence? But before we look into quantum coherence, let's look into what is quantum. This word comes in different ways, whether it's quantum physics, quantum mechanics. So quantum is basically referring to the quantity. Most commonly, it is used in physics, which is the smallest amount of something, usually the energy. That's what it's referring to, that something can possess. So when we are talking about quantum physics or quantum mechanics, that's all it means in simplest form, of course. Now, this is a discrete energy which is in proportional to the magnitude of the frequency of the radiation it is representing. Now, it may sound complex. For us, what it means is the proportional connection with the frequency. That's all we need to understand in this. Why? We will see very soon that, how this frequency connect to us. In simple way, as we meditate, as we do your sadhana, as you progress in your in general spirituality, you are impacting your frequency, your body's frequency. And that is how we get those results. So it's not by magic, you are working on it. The impact goes to the level of frequency. Quantum, as we said, the smallest. So that's why we are going to the smallest level of energy that our body has. Means we are going to the smallest, not even stopping at the atom level. We are going further, smaller and smaller size. So this way, if we understand, then following it or doing it become easier. As this theory explains our nature and behavior of matter and energy, the more you understand, again, different concept will come, easy in terms of having faith or belief. Otherwise, they look like magic. But we have to understand the nature of these atomic or subatomic particles with respect to matter and energy. Smallest unit, what we have learned in school days, is that atom is smallest, or the cell in the body. Cells make tissue, tissue makes different organs combine make system, and multiple systems makes our whole body. So smallest unit we say cell, or in metals and all we say atom. But within the cell also there are many things, and within the atom also there are many things. And that's why when you go deeper and deeper, you get to this quantum level. Now, this is something which you have to see with respect to energy, because within an atom or a cell, doesn't matter, 99.99% space is empty. So the question comes, what is there? Vacuum? No, it's energy. And this is the energy which we all have, and it is connected to the universe. Now, between two planets, we say, oh, it's just dark space. What is dark space? It's just energy. You can't see it, but it's all energy. These big planets are not just hanging up in vacuum. And this energy which is out there in the universe connects to the energy which is what we were referring to, 99.99% between our cells or atoms and all. And that's how the connection, that's how we connect to the universe or the universal field. Now, we will see how the 3D world works, how the 4D and all, but this is where your senses comes into play. Our Rishi Munis and all, they had, good idea about the universe and all the details. How? Because with your normal senses, you cannot be aware of these things. So there is a combination. Now, a very important level of breakthrough in this was observer effect. Observer effect really changed, otherwise science was not accepting. Again, our literature, if you see, whether it is, in India, Egypt, China, thousands of years old, and you will see such concepts. But science now have started understanding after the observer effect was clearly understood. What was this effect? That any matter, if you are not observing it, stays in the waveform. The moment anybody is looking at it, it becomes particle. That means it is transferring back and forth between particle and wave. So this is important because, again, we were talking about 99% empty space. So nucleus and cloud of energy, like in a cell, you have nucleus and then, or in an atom, right? You have nucleus and then electron, proton, and all those things. But when you look at it into the relative size, if suppose you say nucleus is like an SUV, that means electron could be anywhere in the state. I know different states, but even if you say, Arizona, or you pick any relatively like a decent sized state, that means the electron could be anywhere in that space. The whole state we are referring to, state of Arizona, for example. If the nucleus is the size of SUV, obviously nucleus is very small, that's why. But just to imagine the space that we are referring, just because it is, you cannot see with your naked eye, we think, oh, it's micro. Yes, it is, but relatively, that's why this energy and mechanical, that what it keeps changing, it becomes important. So how it came into existence is when a researcher was doing it, they couldn't work on it. So they kept researching on this phenomena. They could never see, they could never validate. And only when really it came that accidentally, simply we'll say that they realize that, okay, the moment they come back, it becomes particle, but when they're looking away, that was waveform. And this was after getting totally frustrated that, okay, I give up kind of scenario. And this was done. And then they observed the impact. And we'll see one experiment which really transformed the whole thing, because this changeover is roughly 7.8 times per second. So this is so fast. And that's why, when we see anything, everything looks physical, everything looks solid. But in the micro level, that's what it keeps switching. So reality is both energy and matter. When you're observing it, it becomes matter. When you're not looking at it, it stays in energy form. And where they could prove it, after getting the initial assessment and all, was the famous double slit experiment. And in that, what they did, they had two slits through the surface, just like if you take a piece of cardboard and just cut two slots, right? So, and imagine that if you are throwing something. So in this case, it was electron, of course, electron gun, and the electrons were fired. Usually what you would imagine, like the left side, that, okay, when you are firing electron, that you should see two kind of slots. And then image should come like two bands. Some electron will go from the left, some will go from the right. So you should see two slots. So when they were observing it, they saw two slots. And when they don't, they saw the bands. Bands represent the energy. And energy overlaps. When the wave comes, they have interference. And that is why they see multiple bands. If it is physical, they will see only two bands. When it's energy form, they see multiple. So this was the double slit experiment, which really opened the eyes and kind of, in the scientific community. And this is where we get this clear path that inside us, we are full of energy. So when we are talking about coherence, what is coherence? Coherence means all the energy going in the same direction, like magnet. A strong magnet means that it is all aligned. That's all the difference is. Internal structure, like the march, you look at any band, marching in one direction. They look so much in coherence. Why? Everybody, their movement, their music, everything is aligned. That is coherence. But when they start practicing day one and all, one person is going, left, other may going right. The music may be going haywire. That is incoherent. That means everybody is going in a different kind of tune, different steps. They are not matching. They are not marching together. That is incoherence. So in our body, when energy is in coherence, it represents health. When it is incoherence, it represents disease, illness, discomfort. So this is a simple thing that in the brain, we can divide the brain into 19 sectors. So within the brain itself, those 19 sectors, if they are not aligned, you will have stress, you will have, against one or the other health issues. Between heart and brain, we have coherence. If it is proper like, then it's like a highway of energy. Your health and everything, you may say, I'm eating all healthy. I'm doing everything right, but why I'm still having all this illness or issues? Sometimes people say I'm doing meditation, but it's still not working because one thing alone doesn't justify the complete picture. And that is why these dots, when you connect, you get the best results. When you react to someone, like imagine you did in the morning meditation 1 hour, your body is in a coherence. Your state is coherent state. That means your brain, body, everything is working fine. Then you start driving towards your work or whatever, and then somebody cuts you on the highway and you start yelling at the person. What happens? Your coherence went away. It's just gone out. Now what you have in your body is incoherence. So if you did meditation in the morning, that doesn't mean the whole day your body will stay in coherence. One negative thought, one yelling, one screaming, and then you are out of coherence. So it is moment by moment. It is not just I did once and I'm done for life. If two waves are coming, and waves means like we talked about, in our body, the whole everything is energy, your thoughts, your words, frequency, like we were talking about. When you're doing meditation, pranayam, yoga, sadhana, spirituality, whatever we call it, when you read something, understand something, you are impacting the frequency. When two waves, two thoughts, two actions are coming, and if they are opposite to each other, they will cancel each other. Whereas if they're in the same direction, 1 plus 1 becomes 2. Whereas if they're opposite direction, plus 1 minus 1 becomes 0. So one person will get good results, good impact. Why? Because that is the energy or the waves are coherence. 1 plus 1 making 2. Whereas if you are having incoherence in your body, then plus 1 minus 1 0, and you will say, I've been doing, but nothing is happening. It can be easily proven and seen by results. Um, of course, not so common, but you can get it tested. EEG is an equipment where they put the sensors around your brain, and you can capture all 19 sectors, and then you will see it is denoted by different colors, that what kind of coherence do you have. You have high, low, you have normal, and you're totally out of sync, and accordingly your health condition will be reflected. Meditation does this automatically. You don't have to command your body, your mind. You don't have to do anything. You don't need to know the science behind it. If you trust and have faith, meditation does this automatically to you. As we meditate, as we become, more and more throughout the day, stay in the meditative state, your brain, your body will stay in coherence. So this is the most important thing to understand. So when people say meditation, give me this or this impact or this miracle, this is the background. This is how the miracle is coming. But you have to remember, you did everything right, and then you started yelling at kids or in your office or neighbor or highway or weather, whatever reason may be. You may give any excuse to justify the yelling or, screaming or getting upset and all, but you are hurting yourself. Whatever you did, it's just neutralized. So when you do this, because heart is the center of divinity, when that creates wave, it's electromagnetic wave, it goes up to 3 meters wide. When you meet people, sometimes you say, yeah, you feel good, positive vibes. Why? Those two waves from the other person's heart and they are matching. And if they are going same polarity, they will say 1 plus 1. Yeah, you feel very good, good vibes. Whereas if you see sometime or feel that I don't like this person, why? Those waves are going in opposite, 1, -1, 0. So the body does that, but do we really read or do we understand that or not? There was another famous experiment done. What they did was they took DNA samples, 2 laboratories, and totally physically separate. So what they did that, okay, they brought, meditators, and they said, okay, imagine that you are unwinding the DNA. So researchers, they were meditating and they were imagining the DNA is winding and unwinding. DNA never changed. So intention never changed the DNA. So DNA samples were there physically in a separate location. Then they said, okay, open your heart. What they were expecting, that result didn't come through. Then they said, open your heart and fill with gratitude, thank. And then they saw 20% DNA unwounded at a remote location, means physically separate. It's not like I'm sitting in front of the sample of DNA. Physically separate, but because you are visualizing with, so not only, you are imagining, or like we say, affirmation or visualization, right? But with gratitude, with positive, elevated emotions. In this case, they've just opened the heart, thanked, and then they could impact the DNA sample, which was at different location. So the power of our, the magnetic field, electromagnetic waves, whichever way we say, what our body does is tremendous. But this also brings to another key concept, space, time, and time, space. Why they are linked? Just what we just mentioned about that. It was a separate, different location, not in the same room. So this will explain why. So what is space, time, and time, space concept? Space, time, space is coming before, means it is saying space is the key in this case, or the prime. What is space? You have different objects, sphere, cube, cylinder, pyramid, cone, rectangle, whatever that thing is, right? We are living in the 3D world. In 3D world, you move from point A to point B. I go from this room to the other room. I'm moving. There is a distance. I'm going from one city to the other. So it's a distance. That means to cover a distance, I would need some time. Distance also creates separation. Distance means separation. When we say this person is sitting 2 feet away from me, or we say 2,000 feet, doesn't matter. It's separation. Distance means separation. Whether it's 1 meter, 1 kilometer, or 1,000, it is a separation. So that's why when we say space time, it is immediately automatically creating separation. So we take time to move from point A to point B. Brain thinks that it will take, some effort, something to reach your dreams, your whatever your, affirmation or destination or your want is. In terms of money, time, efforts, because the separation is immediately creating that link. Now, in our 3D world, this separation is creating, and the timeline is horizontal. Now, if we go and we talk about this space-time, remember, you cannot experience this 3D world without your senses. So whatever we are experiencing, whether distance, whether anything that you like, everything is through your senses. Either you smell, you see, you hear, you touch, you taste, And then you define things. Then you feel things. You close your eyes. Don't make use of your eyes. Imagine this sensor is not working or not available to you. There's no distance. Distance is gone. Distance is only when you feel, when you see, when you walk. If that sensing ability goes, distance goes. That means this sensing is creating this timeline, this 3D world, which is horizontal. Your past, present, future is all on a horizontal. So if suppose right now is the present moment, on the left, it will be past, on the right will be future. It's a horizontal line. And that is where we get stuck. You know, when we talk about ego, our identity and everything gets stuck because of our senses and this horizontal timeline. What is time space? So now space is not prime, time is prime. Time space, because when we are saying space time, we are saying space is unlimited, infinite. You can go any distance, like the universe still expanding. But when we say time space, we are saying time is infinite. Time is the fourth dimension. So length, width, height, typically what we say 3-dimension, time is the fourth dimension. Einstein explained this in different ways. There are other scientists. But when we are talking about this fourth dimension, everything is happening at the same time. That means your timeline is no more horizontal. That past, my present, and future, which is horizontal, means separation. When we say time space, everything is happening at the same time. There is no, whether we say thousands of years before, this happened, that happened, Mahabharata, Ramayana, or, futuristic, anything you say, it is happening at the same time. Based on your frequency, you can connect to different timeline. You can switch between different timeline. To understand this, imagine you are driving or you're listening to radio. Depending on the frequency you tune to, you will listen to different program, whether songs, whether some podcasts, whatever you want to hear. All you do is change the channel, you hear different program. All the frequencies are around you. Whichever channel you have tuned to, that's what is real to you. Others don't exist. But if you want to switch to a different, just change the frequency. Now you listen to that, the first one is gone. This is exactly what time space tells us. Everything is here, and we have to just improve our frequency in order to connect to any time zone, means any of this past, present, future. Like that, why can't I? That means there is one long moment. This is the present moment, and everything is happening at this stage. Whether your childhood or your future, everything is just one vertical. So timeline is not horizontal. In this case, it is vertical. That is why, when we normally, when we talk about chakras, which we'll talk later on in the session, different session, but most of us get stuck in the first three chakras throughout our life. We have to make an effort to go to the fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. Similarly here, most of us, we get stuck in the 3D world, which is space-time concept. As you work, your sadhana, your spirituality, you improve your frequency. Now you are switching that you can be whatever, you can get whatever, and all those things starts happening. So this is a jump one has to, and this is not a physical jump. This can be only dealt with shift in your energy. And that's why the quantum model has to understand, because Newtonian physics does not allow you to kind of conceptualize and understand this, because this is going at a much deeper level. That's why the quantum physics helps us in understanding all this, that how you can switch. What to do is simple. Work on your sadhana, improve your energy, meditation, affirmation, but no one concept will explain you everything. That's why it is important to keep learning, and different subtopics comes and then gives you one big picture. But this one is the base which tells you that, you know, how meditation is working like magic. So if someone thinks that, I've been told do just meditation and things will happen, this will happen, and you say, how? This is how it happens. The background of meditation being so magical is this: it is changing your frequency, and that's how you are switching from 3D to fourth. And then I know you may have heard about fifth dimension and whatnot, but let's not even go there. I mean, in this life, if you can get from 3 to 4, good enough, right? Once you get to one level, then you jump. For example, when you're in school, you're not thinking about your master's program. You have to just clear grade 12. If in grade 5 you start thinking about what will I do in master, I mean, it is meaningless. So from 3 dimension, let's switch to fourth first before we get into any deeper one. But in the background, this is how it happens. So if you understand this, it will be easier for you to develop the trust, faith, belief in what you do. If you just sit for hours and have no trust in the process, you may do whatever meditation you do, the result will be much less. Whereas the other person who may do just 15 minutes meditation, but with full trust, understanding, belief, faith, the result will be much, much more. So it's not the time, it's your heart with what emotions you are doing, whatever you are doing, whether it's cooking, whether it's your professional, whatever. If you don't have conviction, you're just doing, my brother told me, or my friend, or everybody's going, I am also going. It's a very weak energy compared to, yes, I understand, I know what I'm doing, or whatever you are doing, why this career or why this particular relationship or anything, it will be much stronger. So masters, that was today's topic. Please feel free to ask anything if you need clarification, or if you want to share your own learning along the same lines of this topic, please. So
Thank
back.
you. Thank you, Gauraji, for this wonderful presentation. Actually, so many things to learn, um, to connect the dots, as you mentioned. Because, with limited understanding, we always feel that uh, why these things like, any health issues are not going away. So why is it like, I'm doing meditation, but, not happening. So now it clears that, the frequency, whatever it is not in coherence. Um, that's pretty much understandable. And one more thing about time. You mentioned that past, present, and future are in the horizontal line, right? So uh, I don't exactly remember where I read, but I read past, present, future are happening at the same time. So I was not in a position to believe that when I read it. And until now, I did not have uh, strong backup to believe that thing. What do you say about it? Past, present, and future are happening at the same time. How is it possible? Is it, did you come across that anywhere?
See, one more thing just to recap. For that to be experienced, or to come across, you have to be in fourth dimension. You cannot stay in third, because in third it is horizontal.
Okay.
Only when you improve your frequency and you come to the fourth dimensional state, then it becomes horizontal. That means everything is happening now. So
Mm,
everything is happening, but till the time you are in 3D world, you cannot experience that.
okay.
So that is why our Rishi Munis, we've heard many times that, oh, this, master was at two different places at the same time. And we say, how is
Yes,
that possible? Right?
yes, yes.
Because their frequency and energy is a different level than ours.
Mm,
So many things which is not, like, for example, again, for a 5-year-old, kid, uh, mm, a simple mathematical 1 plus 1 also becomes, magical. Oh, wow, you can do 1 plus 1 too. But, as you grow, you say, what's the big deal? Are you kidding me? I mean, but so as we improve our level, things become simpler. First time, 10 minutes meditation was tough. Now you can maybe sit for hours, right? So
yes.
it all comes. So now like the example of the radio station we were talking about, everything is there at the same time. What you listen is only what you are tuned to,
Mm.
but all the frequencies are in the air. The person in the car next to me is listening to a different, I'm listening to different, third person may be different, but we are all within the same vicinity because we are tuned to different this thing. Now, another way to look at it is many people, they say, oh, I experienced my childhood, or sometimes we say I had an experience, sometime in meditation, sometime this or that. And your visuals will be as if it is happening like, what we say 4K definition or high definition, right? As if it's happening now. So how we are into that zone at that moment that we are able to see or be witness to that thing, what has either happened or to be happened,
Mm.
because the timeline is horizontal for 3D, but becomes vertical when you go to 4D. And then you have to just change frequency and you can be anywhere. You can see
Mm.
your future, you can go to your past and come back. Of course, it's not that simple. That's why it's not like if I want, I go switch mode anytime. But when people do say that this happened, that happened, we say, you are faking or you're just talking. But that's what happens.
Thank you. Yes, now it is understandable now. Yes.
Is it that, Gaurav, is it that future seeing is a third eye experience? Is third eye experience an example of that 4D?
See, third eye is slightly like it, mostly it is a combination of things, right? So pure third eye experience will be just intuition, right? Or at different levels. There will be different levels of intuition, right? You can see something coming in or something, whatever, right? That is, as you improve your, sixth chakra, your capability and your, uh, kind of powers will change and you will see. You will have a good feel, vibes and all. But to have the experience where you are kind of switching modes, yeah, for that we have to come out of this typical 3D world. And 3D world doesn't mean physically coming out of it. It's all mental, your thoughts primarily.
Got it. Thank you.
Thoughts and emotions also probably feelings.
Emotion comes from your thoughts. So
Mm.
the starting point is, and each one of us have a typical thought process. Something like, if we really recall what was I thinking whole day, you will see that one, two, or maybe three maximum particular thoughts category, or that was repeating multiple times. It could be a work, it could be a kids, it could be parents, it could be whatever. That theme is, going on the whole day. It's not like, yeah, you may get 60,000 thoughts in a day, but it's not 60,000 different themes going. Themes are just two, three, which is engaging you and, kind of gulam ban jate hain unke, just two,
Yes,
three thoughts. They really plays everything in our life.
right.
So once we overcome this, whether it's fear, whether it is, greed, jealousy, lust, or whatever you have, the moment you overcome that, you are a different person. Physically, you are same, but inside you have changed completely. So that's why a very common example is when people do meditation, they say, I have become calm person now. This is a very common generic. Rest could be specific, but calmness is a very common thing that most of the meditator experience. So why we become calm? Again, the energy is coherent. Now, a little bit of somebody pokes you, you don't get, you know, jump into or start dancing. Why? Because now you have high coherence inside you. You can tolerate a lot of poking. Before anybody touches you, and I could be right on seventh floor instantly without elevator. That
Right.
kind.
So, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask when Gaurav is here. Unmute yourself.
your question can help many others, because sometimes we have same question but nobody asks. We are shy. So the moment one person asks, other says, yes, yes, I also wanted to clarify the same. So please don't feel shy.
Gauravji, how to stay calm? Like, though I'm trying all this meditation because, and then as you just said, there are things that I cannot control in the morning. I mean, and then the whole day turns out to become bad actually. In the sense, you again start pretty much from where you stopped. Um, and I feel that because earlier I never felt that way because it was always bad. But now it is coming good. I mean, I'm feeling better, but then I'm seeing myself, and then you get pushed back again, right? And then you again have to start over again. How to manage?
Saketji, very simple. Let me ask you this. What did you do? Did you treat yourself when you had such feeling?
Yes.
How did you treat means, whichever, whatever you like, treating yourself, kind of praising yourself, or uh, whenever you have such feeling.
No, it was just a negative feeling, and then you feel as if you're back, and then you make wrong choices back again. Whether it's food or anything. You end up when you actually accumulate all of these, and then try to rethink what you did. Then you feel as if you wasted the whole day because it starts off with something, and you just keep building on it.
Right. The reason I was asking, you just flip the story and your outlook will be totally different. What I mean by that is, tell yourself that you have, this is a victory. These are all small victories, but these are victories. And you have to pat yourself on the back. You have to treat yourself. Whatever you like, ice cream, have ice cream that day. You want tea, coffee, or whatever you want to eat, drink, or go or do. Treat yourself. That yes, you have, it's a good victory for you. Why it's a victory? Before you had no idea, because you were never kind of in that zone for even 5 minutes in a day. Doesn't matter now, you are in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whichever zone you are, but at least it is better than zero. Why it is so important is, we will never switch from 0 to 100 in a day. And we have to we have to tell our brain that you are on the right path, you have to continue the journey. Otherwise, the brain, again, as I was mentioning, we get stuck in the first three chakras, which are negative energies. The body get the message that, you are a loser. Why? See, you are back to this. We don't have to worry about that you got back into that zone, that negativity. What you have to focus is that today I was able to stay 5 minutes positive. Next week, it could be 10 minutes. A month later, you may stay 1 hour in a day positive. And that, when you keep reinforcing yourself that you're on the right path, first of all, that will become positive information to your brain. So rather than coming as a negative thought, it will become positive that, wow, then you will recognize that last week I was having only 5 minutes. Today I have 10. Great work. You have to praise yourself. It will flip this whole story, and nothing happens in a day. So you will just continue. And it's a matter of time, couple of months, or maybe a year or two, doesn't matter how much it takes. Your story will be totally different.
Thank you.
Hi, Gaurav sir. This is Deepika. I have a follow-up question on this. How do we know we are on the right path?
There is no wrong path. There is no wrong path, Deepika. I'm not joking. Think about it. If you are attempting whatever, whether say I want to learn cooking and I'm trying something, I may spoil the whole thing, right? Totally bad. Doesn't matter. It's more than zero. Now I know something which before trying I had no idea. It may take 3 attempts or whatever, but every time I'm getting better at something. It's up to us. We can take it negatively that I failed, I failed, I failed. Or we can flip the story and say, okay, I learned this, I'm better at this.
Hmm.
And this ability will come through meditation. It's by default, our physical body is given this, system which says, oh, negative, negative, hey, you failed, or you couldn't do this. People will laugh, or typically like we make fun and all those things. But as you do meditation, everything, even if it is a small positive, our eyes, our mind, our senses became, they become kind of tuned to capture positivity around us. By default, they only capture negativity. Through our sadhana, we start changing the story. From zero, we go to first 1% positive, 99 maybe negative, then 2, 3, 4. All of a sudden, you will see the story change. Now you see positivity around you. So let it rain, let it snow, let the traffic be jammed. You will still see positivity, because every coin has two sides. It's just how we take it.
Yep, that's true. But then there are days when maybe the negative energies are so high and you just don't feel good about anything, and it becomes even harder to meditate or to have that positive vibe. So
Absolutely. For that, I would recommend, if you come to that level, go for the soul plan or purpose of life concept. That will help you understand that whatever happens in our life, why it happens. Then you will see, you will decode yourself. You don't need anybody's help. That, okay, this is happening with me, this is the reason. So then you will not see negativity in the negative things happening around your life. You will understand that why it is happening. For example, a person does something bad to you, you will say, okay, forget the person, but my life, this is happening. Okay, this is the reason. Whether, it's a relationship, when you lose some, any relationship, of course, it's hurtful. But then you will understand, okay, why this happened. Or when someone comes in your life full of positivity, you will understand why this happened. Everything is for us to learn something as a soul. But once you
Um,
understand that whole concept, it's too big, that's why I'm not going here. That will help you, but start here and then complement with that one.
okay.
Gaurav I just would like to add something. Deepika, if you have attended yesterday's session, yesterday
Mm-hmm.
we watched a we watched a video clip, right?
Right.
That was recorded 2 years ago, and in that she was sharing her experience. Like before knowing this knowledge, she was always thinking why is she even when there was some issue with her husband, she used to think why this, right? And when she learned that everything is designed by ourselves, like why when we come to take this birth, we plan everything, like your husband, your parents, and your everything you have chosen. And whoever is interacting with you in this lifetime, they are all chosen by you to give you pleasure, or to teach you something, or to help you in in your soul plan, whatever might be the reason. So this is all designed by us. So now whom do you blame? So those are the things that we need to learn. Whatever is actually we are getting stuck with, we have to identify that nature or emotion or whatever it is, and then improve on that. I think Gauraji, like we never discussed soul plan here. Probably in the future sessions, we may plan to discuss about future soul plan and those topics. What do you
Sure.
say?
I think that is another 6 to 8 weeks, like, because there are 6 to 8 sessions. So certainly we can do that in future. And in the end, people will also learn how to decode your own, like, small exercise, small tip, that how to, work around and find from your own life what could be your purpose of life or soul plan.
And also after
Yes.
cards, Gaurav. I think I remember we discussed in our group.
Right. Karthik, you have your hand raised. Please go ahead.
Yeah, today at school, like a few days ago, I tried out for badminton in my school, and today I didn't make the team, and like I didn't get selected, and my friends started making fun of me, and I got like very angry and sad. Like, can you tell me how to control that?
So, Karthik, yes, it is upsetting when you try something and that doesn't happen, but don't worry about what others are saying. That's a very low level action from their side, low level energy. So don't worry about it. Again, we were just referring to soul plan or purpose of life. If anybody's doing negative things to you, imagine that they are actually making you do the right thing. So that means if you, in this case, couldn't get selected for this badminton team or badminton tournament, you have to see, okay, what do I need to do in order to get through that? Is it your game? Is it you miss the timing, you miss, there has to be certain things that you will discover that, okay, this is the top or the prime reason why you couldn't get through, right? There will be time when others are better than you. Okay, then you have to practice more. So there is always learning out of everything. Find out that today is badminton, tomorrow could be something different, day after it could be something different. So we don't go by what from the surface we look, which is badminton in this case. Try go a little under the surface, means deeper, that okay, why did you miss? And work on those things. Okay,
Thank
Right.
you.
welcome. Okay, so I think we can switch to meditation. I don't see any other hand raise and all. There is a message in the chat, but there is no name, so really I cannot address. So we can go for the meditation, and then we can go from there. So we will do with a little
And also
bowl.
to everyone, whenever you have some question, you can send it in meditation mantra group, or you can forward it to me personally, so that in the next session we can answer the question. If it is really like if you feel that we can answer. So thank you, Gaurav. Please.
Okay, so masters, let's get into meditation and make use of the group energy. So we will add the sound energy with our energy, which is the singing bowl. And first, physically, let's get into the meditative state. Means take off your glasses or wristwatch in case you are wearing one. Be comfortable. Relax your face, your neck, your shoulders. Move your attention from your head to toe. As you move your attention, you keep relaxing that part of the body. So, unintentionally, no part of your body stays stressed. For 1 minute, let's do slow breathing, which will slow down your brain waves, which will help you in getting into deep meditation. Just be as slowly as comfortable to you. So breathe out, breathe in, means inhale and exhale as slow as comfortable to you. Now, start observing your breath, masters. So breathe normally. Stay connected with your breath. As you inhale, as you exhale, with every breath, we intake a lot of cosmic energy. And with every exhale, we let go a lot of toxins from our body. That's why our breath is our prana. It heals us automatically. In between, you may get stuck with some thoughts. It's natural, it's okay. Don't fight, don't feel bad. As soon as you realize you are stuck with a thought, just come out of it and start observing your breath again. Now your mind, your body, both are relaxed. Your breath is normal, slow, soft, smooth. Keep observing your breath. Stay connected with your breath, which will connect you with your inner self, which eventually connects you with your higher self. Keep breathing at your normal, natural pace. Stay connected with your breath.